All right, guys, this is lesson 32. It is the second to last lesson in this class, and it's highlighted. Is it a times 1 or what is it? It's just highlighted, so that means a times 1. That means there was one problem from this section on the final last semester, okay? Okay, so look right here. In order to do today's lesson, we have to know how to add fractions together, okay? This is a review. It had to do with that lesson when we came up with the least common denominator, blah, 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 okay? Everybody tell me what the least common denominator of A is. Just shout that out. It's going to be a 15, right? The biggest is a 15, and 5 goes into 15. So everybody look at this fraction right here. It already had the 15, so the 2 is totally fine. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking the negative 3 over 5 and turning it into something over 15. Well, I have to multiply the bottom by a 3 to make it a 15. Therefore, I have to go negative 3 times 3 is a negative 9. And then 2 minus 9 is a negative 7 over 15, and I've got it. Okay? Who says I followed that? Raise your hand. Let me see how we're doing. Okay, look at the next one. Okay? You guys, I really need you to respond when I ask you questions, okay? I go above and beyond for you every day, and I expect reciprocation. So if you're not talking to me, for all I know, you are completely clueless with what I'm trying to show you. If you're responding, then I'm like, okay, we're good. They're with me and they're understanding. Okay? Okay. This is a 5 over 1. So everybody put a 1 underneath that. Okay? Now, everyone in the room, what would my common denominator be? 6. Would be a 6. Thank you for answering me. Okay, so look at this guy right here. He doesn't have the 6. So I'm taking just that fraction and I'm trying to write it as something that has a 6 on the bottom. So I have to go 1 times 6 is 6. So 5 times 6 is 30. Good. The second guy already has the 6, so he's good to go. So I'm just going to go minus 1. And then 30 minus 1 is 29 over 6, and I'm fine. Okay? Now, I do want to add one thing right here to question C. I want you to put an X with the 3, okay? Because we have to have some practice on doing that as well. You know what? Don't make it an X, actually. Make it a Y. Can anybody tell me why I didn't want to make it an X? Because I've already got an X, yeah. Okay, so numerically, okay, remember we just talked about answering me when I ask you questions. So numerically, we have a 3 and a 6. So everybody tell me what my common denominator would be. 6. Thank you for answering. And what has to go with that 6? A Y is correct, okay? So look at this first guy right here. What do I multiply by 3 to get a 6? A 2, and I've already got the Y. So if I multiply the bottom by 2, I have to multiply the top by 2, and then 2 times x is 2x. The second fraction right here, guys, has the 6, but it's missing the y. So I'm going to multiply the bottom by y. Therefore, I multiply the top by y. Negative 1 times y is a negative y, and that's my answer. I can't cancel the 2's. Everybody tell me why I can't cancel the 2's. Tell me. The 2 and the 6. It's rude. Who's it rude to? The y. I can't cancel y's. Why? Because it's rude. Who is it rude to? The 2x. Who says I understand? Okay, great. Okay, now there's one more thing I actually want to review with you. So just kind of just add in this example somewhere, like here maybe. So if you had 1/2 divided by 3/4, just a very quick review on dividing fractions. You leave the first fraction the way it is, which is a 1/2. You make your division and multiplication, and what do, everybody? Flip it upside down, okay? Now, I could do this. Watch what I could do. I could multiply the tops together. 4 times 1 is 4. On the bottom, 3 times 2 is a 6. Then I could reduce that, and that reduces to 2 over 3. I would not do that. It's not necessary. there's an easier way. Look at that right there, 1/2 times 4/3. Look at the top and the bottom, okay? Is there anything that goes into each other? Well, yeah, look, 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 2 times. So on the top, 2 times 1 is 2. On the bottom, 3 times 1 is 3. I think it's easier to cancel and then multiply. Saves you a little bit of work. Who says I understand that? Raise your hand, let me see. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Question A. Do you see this long bar right here? This means divide, right? Well, this symbol also means divide. Listen carefully, okay? Once I have this top written as just one fraction, which it is, and the bottom just one fraction, then the next step is to write that yellow division bar as a division symbol. So everybody write it as 5 over x divided by 3y over x. So just make the division bar division symbol. Tell me the next step. Flip it. Thank you for answering. Which one do I flip?
The second.
The one that's after the division, right? So that would be 5 over x multiplied by x over 3y. I'm not going to multiply the tops together and the bottoms together yet. What am I going to do before I do that? Remember over here what I did? When I looked around and I reduced the 2 and the 4, that's what I'm talking about. So everybody look right here. What can I do right there? Is there anything I can cancel? Those x's, yeah. I have an x on the top and an x on the bottom. So I get 5 on the top, 3y on the bottom, and I'm done. Okay, who says I gotcha? Let me see. Okay, good. Let's do this next one.
Are there no restrictions?
I beg your pardon. There are restrictions. Yes, thank you. Here's how you do restrictions. Anything that is ever in a denominator, which is all those things that are highlighted, they're all restrictions. Because what can't you have on the bottom of a fraction? Everybody tell me. Can't have a 0, right? We talked about that. So if I said x equal to 0, I get x cannot be 0. So it takes care of this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. 3 could never be a 0, so that's not an issue. And now we've got that y. Well, that tells me y cannot be 0. So those are my restrictions. Okay? Who says gotcha? Let's see. Okay, let's do this one. Question B. Okay, freeze right here and let me show you something. Don't write this down. Look what people do. 3 over x minus 1 over 2 divided by x over 5. Don't do that. Don't take that step and write it as a division symbol until this top right here is a single fraction. Then write it as a division and flip it. Raise your hand up all the way to the sky if you understand what I just said. Big raise. Okay, great. Okay, let's do that. So let's keep it as a fraction up there. Okay. Big long division bar. See that division bar? I want you to make it like really long. Okay. And now all I'm doing, guys, is this. Look at the top. I'm adding those. Well, look at how we started this whole problem. Do you see how we started and we were adding fractions together? That's all I'm doing. So I need to get a common denominator. Every person in the room, tell me of the top, which is highlighted in yellow, what is my common denominator? Tell me. 2x. Everybody write down 2x. Okay. Now look at this guy right here in green. He's got the x, he's missing the 2. So I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom both by 2. 3 times 2 is a 6. The next fraction is right here in pink. So it has the 2, but it's missing the x. So a negative 1 times x is negative x. The bottom is fine. It's just a fraction, x over 5. Now I have a fraction over a fraction, so I'm ready to write it as a division. So everybody go 6 minus x over 2x divided by x over 5. Can I cancel? Look right here for 2 seconds. Can I cancel this x right there and this x right there? Can I do that? No, I cannot. Why not? Because it's a division. I have to make it a multiplication and then I'm allowed to flip. So make sure that you don't do that. Okay, so next step, everybody write this down with me. 6 minus x over 2x multiplied by 5 over x. Does anything cancel? Yes or no? Come on. Nothing cancels. No. So multiply the top together and you get 30 minus 5x. Multiply the bottom together, you get 2x squared. That's my answer. Okay, now let's list our restrictions. I usually wait to the end to list my restrictions. Look right here. Anything highlighted in purple, okay, it's going to be a restriction because it's in a denominator. So the 2's and the 5's, I don't have to worry about that. This x right there tells me that x cannot be 0. And that's all I've got, because all I've got are 2's and 5's and x's. And so that's it, okay? Okay, am I ready? I want everybody to answer this question, okay? Am I ready to write this problem with a division symbol like that? Raise your hand high in the air if you think, yes, you're ready. Let's see. Who says no, not ready? Okay. Some of you didn't vote. So I'm going to look that everybody is voting one way or the other. And if you don't, I'm going to call you out. Okay? Who says yes, it's ready? Raise your hand. Do it all the way to the ceiling so I can see. Okay. Who says not ready? Okay. The answer is it's ready. Why is it ready? Because I have one fraction, just a number over a number, divided by another fraction. Do you see right here? How on the top, how I had a term and they were 2 separate? I don't have that. I just have one fraction over one fraction. It's ready to go. Who says, now I understand? Let me see. Do a big race to the ceiling. Okay, everybody write down 10 over y divided by 50 over y to the second minus 5y. Now I change my division to a multiplication, and I flip the second guy upside down. Now, look at the numerator, which is the top of the second one. Is there anything I can do to that y squared minus 5y, everybody? You can take out a y. So let's take out a y, and you're left with y minus 5. You could have done that at the beginning, in the middle, or right now, it doesn't matter. Now, I want you to tell me with one word what I'm going to do right here. You're going to reduce, you're going to cancel. Yeah, so this y right here cancels with this right there. And then 10 goes into 10 once, 10 goes into 50 5 times. So your final answer is y minus 5 over 5, and I'm done. Okay? Right now, I want you by yourself to write down the restrictions. And I'm going to call on you, and you're going to tell me what you wrote. Okay? So everybody get ready. Hi, Henny.
Sorry, it's Julie.
Okay, Kennedy, what did you write down, honey?
Y can't equal 0 and 5.
Y cannot be 0, comma. Now, 1050, I told them it's okay if they go 0, comma 5. But now Weber State is changing their opinion on that. And so we're going to write y can't be 0, y can't be 5. So we're going to write it as 2 separate equations. And that's what they're requiring. I met with them last night. Okay? Okay, here we go. Question D. Am I ready to write this division bar as a division symbol, yes or no? No. Both of them are messed up, right? So let's do a big long division bar, and let's look at the top. Well, the top is really pretty much done because I already have that common denominator of 3, so I just go 1 minus 14 is negative 13. That's easy. Now let's look at the bottom. Everybody in the room, tell me what's the common denominator going to be right here on the bottom? Talk to me. It's going to be a 6. So see this 5 over 6? It was good to go. I'm just going to write down a 5. See the negative 1/2? 2 times 3 is 6. A negative 1 times 3 is a negative 3. Now I'm going to take 2 steps in one. I'm sure you're going to be fine. Let's write it as negative 13 over 3 divided by, here's the second step, 5 minus 3 is 2 over 6. Okay, so I wrote it as a division, and I did 5 minus 3 is 2 all in one step. Now, the negative 13 over thirds does not change. The division becomes a multiplication. You guys, what could I have done to my 1/6? 2/6? Reduced it to 1/3. So when I flip it, it would be 3 over 1, right? So I'm going to take both those steps in one. Should I now multiply the tops together and then the bottoms together? This is a common error. Should I now do that? No. What do? Cancel. So the 3's are going to cancel. And my answer is negative 13 over 1, which is negative 13. Okay? Everybody in the room, take a second, write the restrictions, and I'm going to call on someone in just a second. Okay, Lexi, what are the restrictions, honey?
None.
You're exactly right. There are no restrictions. I need you to explain that to everybody, honey. Why is it none?
Because there's not like an X or Y in the denominator, it's just the numbers.
Yeah. Nowhere in the problem do you have an X or Y on the bottom. You're exactly right. Okay, wonderful. Okay, here goes question question E. Ready, yes or no, to write that yellow bar as a division symbol? Tell me.
No.
No, both top and bottom are messed up, okay? Right now, 10 seconds to figure out what the common denominator on the top is going to be.
X.
That's okay. That's all right. Amberly, tell us, girlfriend.
It's X.
It's an X. You're exactly right. Good. It's okay. Okay, this right here doesn't have the X. So I multiply the bottom by X. Therefore, I multiply the top by X. 4 times X is 4X. This guy right here in pink, he had the X. So I'm just going to go minus 8. On the bottom, not out loud, on your paper, what's the common? It's okay. You did wonderfully, honey. Write it on your paper. What's your common denominator going to be? Okay, Bailey, what do you have, sweetie?
On the bottom,
Yeah, just the denominator.
6.
It is a 6. Good. It is a 6. Okay, so right here, you go 3 times 2 is 6. So 2 times x is 2x. This next guy that I'm highlighting in purple already has the 6. So I'm going to go minus 4. Am I now ready to write it as a division symbol? Tell me. Yes, I am. So let's go 4x minus 8 over x divided by 2x minus 4 over 6. Don't cancel anything. I do have a couple of things I can factor though. I'm going to do it right now. So right here I'm going to take out a 4 and I'm left with x minus 2. Right here I'm going to take out a 2 and I'm left with x minus 2. Why do I do that? Because it's going to help me when I start trying to reduce this thing. Okay, so I've already read it as 4 times x minus 2 over x multiplied by 6 over 2 times x minus 2. What do I do with one word from your mouth? What is it? Reduce or cancel. I like to call it cancel. Yeah. So x minus 2 cancels with x minus 2. Does anything else reduce, guys? Yes or no? The 2 is going to cancel with either the 4 or the 6. Does it matter? Doesn't matter. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 6 3 times. So on the top, 4 times 3 is 12. On the bottom, you have an x, and you're done. Okay? Right now, everybody on your paper, but not out loud, list your restrictions. Okay, Kensley, what do you have, honey? X can't be what?
0 and X can't be 2.
X and 0 and 2. Good. And write it like this. Do 2 separate statements. X cannot be 0. X cannot be 2. Because like I said, said that's how we have to write it. Okay? All right. Here we go with question F. I want you to do F by yourself. Go ahead.
F is hard to do.
Say it again. F is hard. Perfect. I did that on purpose. I knew it was. It's a good little test of If it were on the final right now, would you be ready? Raise your hand if you're not done yet. Okay, I'm going to start it, okay? Am I ready to write this with a division symbol? Yes or no? Guys, I just asked you a question. Am I ready to write it like that?
No.
No, okay? When you say it, be kind, okay? But say it, all right? So we can communicate. Okay, there's your fraction bar. Here's your fraction. Common denominator on the top is a y. This first guy, which is the 8 over 1, doesn't have the y. So 1 times y is y. 8 times y is 8y. The second guy has the y, so it's minus 1. On the bottom, common denominator, everybody tell me what that would be. Y squared, okay? So I'm looking here, and then specifically I'm looking at that guy right there. He has the y squared, so it's a 5. The second guy right here has a y, but he's missing a y, so that would be negative 3y. Look at what I have right there. Raise your hand up high if you got that far. You have that perfectly. Okay, wonderful. If you don't, change your notes so we can get it perfect, okay? So the next step is 8y minus 1 over y divided by 5 minus 3y over y squared. Then the next step after that, leave the first guy alone. Take the second guy, flip him upside down, okay? You guys, let me say something right here that I think might help you. See this 8y minus 1? It's not going anywhere. It's going to stay exactly 8y minus 1. Because the only way it'll cancel is if I have exactly an 8y minus 1 on the bottom, which I do not have. So I know that's going to be like that. This 5 minus 3y, same thing. It's going to stay exactly the way it is because I don't have exactly a 5 minus 3y on either one of those numerators. Who says I totally understand? Okay, so the only thing that can go are those and those. And can I cancel them? Yes, I can. So this y right here cancels with one of those y's right there. When you distribute that, you get 8y squared minus y, and that's your answer. Okay, who says I got that all by myself? Raise your hand. Let me see. Raise your hand up high. Okay, you 4 or 5 people, that's awesome because that was on the final and you just got it right. You know what I mean? The rest of you, let's get it. Okay, I want you to do G by yourself. Go ahead. Oh, we did list restriction. Raise your hand if you're not done yet, please. All right, guys, I'm gonna do it. Let's see how you did. Okay, look right up here for me, please, and compare it to what you've done, okay? So the top is fine because I just have it as one fraction, so I'm totally good. The bottom one, I have to pull the x together with the x plus 2. So this has the x plus 2, but he's missing the x. So 2 times x is 2x. This guy right here has the x. He's missing the x plus 2. So I have to distribute that 5, and I get 5x plus 10. Look right there at that. Raise your hand if you have that on your paper. Do a big raise up. Yeah, I would think some of you probably on the bottom denominator, you may have messed up on that x times x plus 2. You have to pull those both together, okay? Okay, so the next thing is going to be 7 over x plus 5 divided by 2x plus 5x is 7x plus 10 over x times x plus 2. Did I do something wrong? Say it again, sweetie. Go ahead.
It's 7 over x plus 2.
It's 7 over, oh, got it. This is a 2. Thank you. This is a 2. So that's a 2. Good. Okay. So let's keep going. So now we have 7 over x plus 2 multiplied by x times x plus 2 over 7x plus 10. Now let's cancel. So x plus 2 cancels with x plus 2. I have a question, guys. Can this 7 on the top cancel with that 7 on the bottom? No. So on the top, you have 7 times x, which is 7x. On the bottom, 7x plus 10. I'm really surprised how many people I have that are still canceling wrong. Can I cancel the 7x and the 7x? Yes or no? No. Why not? It's rude. Who's it rude to? The 10. Good. Okay, let's list restrictions. So on this guy right here, x can't be 0. Also, x can't be a negative 2. Over on this guy, we skipped it. So over here, y can't be 0. And also, y cannot be equal to a positive 5/3. If you set 5 minus 3y equal to 0, you get a positive 5/3. Okay? Yes, honey?
So on G, so would one of the restrictions be like
Which one? D like a dog, honey?
a G?
Say-
Like the example G.
G like a girl?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So would you also have a restriction of like negative 10 over 7? Or
Yes, I should have listed that, honey. Thank you so much. X can't be negative 10 over 7 because of this guy right there. Yeah. I love that you corrected me, honey. Yes.
And on X, would you have a restriction of 1.2?
No. And here's why. And I love that you just said that. So she just said, should 1/8 also be a restriction? Look right here. Throughout the entire problem, anything that's in the denominator is a restriction, but 8y minus 1 is never in the denominator. Okay, good. Okay, questions? Okay, all right, so we're done with that. Why don't you take out a blank piece of paper, okay? And we can start looking at your quizzes.